Hello everyone. So in this video we will be studying about the behavioral design patterns. Let's see what all is there. So today we will see what are behavioral design patterns and what are the types of design patterns and some extras. I mean those are not in the slides, but I will tell you what to do with behavioral design patterns, when should you study about these patterns and why should you do that. Alright. So let's move on to the next slide and see what are behavioral design patterns. These patterns try to solve the problems by precisely assigning the responsibilities between the objects in a both decoupled and cohesive way. Alright, so what exactly does that mean? See, you define some abstractions that deal with relationships and responsibilities between the objects. So now there is a case where you want to measure and manage how and when two or more objects can communicate with each other by message passing or direct references as well. And many times you cannot merely obtain certain object references and call them methods, but you would like to use their functionality. And maybe also you may have diverse ways to define the behavior of an object, but you do not want to hard code many switch statements or draft the repetitive code. So that is the meaning of this first line. So in this way, you are assigning the responsibility between the objects. In other words, these help us maintain the balance between those two concepts so that clients that interact with the objects won't have to know their internal connections. See, whenever you are using an object on the client side, you don't really want client to bother about what exactly is happening inside of an object. Okay, you just want that to have all the functionality that it wants, and definitely in order to do that you implement the behavioral design patterns. Now moving on to the types of behavioral design patterns. There are 10 types of behavioral design patterns. 10 types. Sounds too much, but anyway. The first is the strategy pattern, chain of responsibility pattern, command pattern, iterator pattern, mediator pattern, observer pattern, memento pattern, state pattern, template method pattern, and the visitor pattern. All of those have their different responsibilities, different use cases, but believe me, all of these are quite important when you are doing some real scalable software development. And you will understand why when you will build the projects. So we will also be building some projects using these design patterns in the upcoming videos, but first we will see the basics of these. Now I introduced you to the extra session, like what, when and why. So currently what we are doing is, this is the last type of design patterns that we are studying, the behavioral design patterns using the Typescript. And why we are doing it is because you do not simply want to build toy projects which are not really scalable and which do not really land you a job actually. So if you want to build something scalable, I mean you want to have a robust software in which you do not really need to make changes frequently, or you do not really want a messed up code. You want to be free of that so that you can think on a higher level. In order to achieve this, we are using these behavioral design patterns, and I mean any design pattern is used for that purpose only. Specifically, these behavioral design patterns are for some complex level applications, since we said that there is responsibility between the objects, so you are having multiple objects that interact with the client. Now there should be some responsibility, and such kind of design pattern can only be in an application which is a bit complex. That is why we are doing this. So when should you do it is that if you are through with what are design patterns, if you are comfortable in TypeScript language, or even if you are from any other programming language, that's okay, but you have a strong command of at least one programming language apart from PHP then you should study these kind of patterns. Alright, so that's it from the video. we studied about what are the behavioral design patterns and their types, and in the next videos we shall study about various types of these patterns one by one. So we will study about the strategy pattern and that observer pattern, memento pattern, visitor pattern, template method pattern, chain of responsibility pattern, and all and all. There are 10 patterns anyway. So stay tuned and do like the video and subscribe to the channel for getting the latest updates. Thank you.